So let me start with this investment in Norwegian Hydropower. Is this about changing what you do at Lundin, or is this just changing how you offset what you do?
Yes, good morning. No, it's part of our strategy. We always aim to be one of the most efficient companies, as producers, offshore company, and we show that there are on the operating costs where we have I would say leading operating costs at close to $4 a barrel. We also have very high uptime, to the 96 to 98%. And we, among this efficiency, we also wanted to show that we have some of the lowest carbon footprint. So we've done it in several ways. One is we have electrified our platform, Johan Sverdrup, using onshore power, which is mainly coming from renewable. And we've now made a decision to also fully electrify Edvard Grieg. At the time, Johan Sverdrup will reach phase 2. And with record low emission of CO2 per barrel produced. So the investment on the hydropower really it's a logical step. It's our aim to offset and replace what we're using offshore in terms of power usage. So it's I would say just a logical step to continue to be as efficient.
What about other ways to offset your carbon footprint? I mean, have you thought about, for example, voluntary purchases, carbon credit purchases, emissions quota purchases?
Yeah. There's many ways. I think number one, as an oil and gas company offshore, you first have to focus on the efficiency, is to be the most efficient, and to achieve that there are many ways to do that. One is obviously technology, could be also digitalization. The second one is obviously the electrification, which significantly reduces your CO2 emissions and has a business case because you obviously pay less taxes, CO2 taxes. We have one of the highest CO2 taxes in the world in Norway, so you're incentivized to reduce your carbon footprint. And secondly, the uptime. What we see is that the uptime on a platform that is run by turbines is lower than an uptime when it's run by electricity from onshore. And then there are many other ways. Is obviously automatizations, which reduces the traffic of people back and forth from offshore, and natural carbon capture. And others. So I think our industry is doing a lot of work and a lot of good work in terms of reducing as much as possible this footprint as producers.
Okay, let me ask you about the oil and gas production itself, though. You obviously we've got Johan Sverdrup up and running now. It's expected to get to full phase 1 capacity in the summer of 2020, but it does seem to be ramping up very quickly. Why do you think it'll take that long?
Well, first of all, Johan Sverdrup and the work that Equinor has done as an operator is simply extraordinary. And Johan Sverdrup itself it's an extraordinary field. And what we've seen so far, all through the execution, there hasn't been any major problem. And now we see the benefit of it. First of all, we came on stream earlier than anticipated. Secondly, we see the ramp-up of the pre-drill wells coming faster than anticipated. We are now producing from 5 wells at over 200,000, and we expect to have 8 wells up and running by the end of November, which will account for 80% of phase 1, which is 440,000 barrels per day, when it will be at 100%. Now, the next guidance is that we're saying that we will reach the 440,000, which is phase 1 capacity, by mid-year of 2020. This is predicated on the fact that we may need 2 to 4 new wells to reach that level. So we need now to see the productivity and the production from these existing 8 wells, and that will give us a better understanding if summer stands in terms of the guidance for peak production for phase 1, or we can do it earlier. But it's too early to say now.